Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It's a new week. Weekend is over. What am I so happy about? Welcome to Mucking Fonday. We're going to cover all the news you may have missed today and over the weekend, so you don't have to worry about it. This is Before Coffee, the father and daughter comprehensive news of Planet Earth podcast, where we look up our stories 10 to 15 minutes before we started. We just had some caffeine. We're waking up, learning how to read these stories live on stream. So let's get into today's headlines. Today on Mucking Fonday, developers are now relying on AI tools more than ever, but confidence in them is dropping from a study. And the UK is taking too long to act over plan for evacuating Gaza children. Coming from Scotland.
And good morning from the United States. Happy Monday. I'm One-Eyed Clyde. It's forget the stories. Texas Democrats seek to block illegal redistricting vote by the Republicans in Texas. Long headline.
Switzerland could revise offer on Trump tariffs, business minister says.
And in the weather, where you have the National Hurricane Center, it still exists for now, is watching 3 areas.
TV, union, and women's group call for this year's MasterChef to be shelved.
And it's National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. Don't have a really good line for that, but it's August 4th, 2025 on Before Coffee.
Chocolate chip cookies, nice and gooey, especially, it's still warm, right? So you're probably have melted chocolate chip cookies going on.
Not cooled off over the weekend. It's not in the 90s anymore.
Okay.
Thankfully.
So you can have your chocolate chip cookies without it melting everything.
Yeah, here comes the hurricanes. Knock out all the power.
Yay! Wait a minute. Only matters if you don't need power, I guess.
As long as I'm not in the middle of something big.
Yeah.
All right, Dan.
Let's roll a segue wheel.
Do the week. Let's get the week going.
Reminds me of a song.
Ooh, nice.
This first story is about AI coming out of India, I believe, by Indian Express, the tech desk. AI tools have become everyday companions for software developers. Whether it's writing code faster or learning a new language, tools like GitHub, Copilot, and Cursor are now part of a developer's toolkit. But even as their usage grows, developers are beginning to trust these tools less and less. In Stack Overflow's latest annual survey of 49,000 developers, Stack Overflow is like a developer's Google, by the way. So if you're ever getting into coding, you're like, I don't know how to do this. Just search it on Stack Overflow. They'll tell you all the ways you can do it. A whopping 80% of these 49,000 developers said that they now use AI tools as part of their workflow. But here's the surprising part. Only 29% trust the accuracy of the AI-generated code. The number used to be 40%. So now you use these AI tools and then you have to go back over the code to make sure it still works because you don't trust it anymore. I trusted it before and now I don't trust it at all. This mismatch of high usage but low trust shows the complex relationship developers have with AI. AI-generated solutions that seem mostly correct but contain subtle flaws are now the biggest frustration for developers. Oh, this should work. Oh man, I used the wrong line here, so that's why it's not working, and I have to go make sure this line's the correct way in every single part of the code. Ugh. Honestly, no thank you. Just hearing that makes me wanna... It's like when for this show, for the shorts, I use AI to generate the subtitles, right? But I still go over the subtitles to make sure that all makes sense, because sometimes it thinks I say the day instead of today on Before Coffee, right? It thinks I say the day. That's the easiest one to check.
Don't dare misspell anything.
Yeah, that's right there at the beginning, so I don't have to worry about it. But there's some other stuff in there, people's names, of course, and if we're de-sing in the middle and it doesn't catch the whole word, yeah, I cannot imagine doing that for an entire who knows how many lines of code, right? I wouldn't do that for the whole YouTube video, for example. I would not generate AI and go over an hour-long videos, AI subtitles. Of course, that is what Google's using for YouTube, so I guess I lose either way. The near correct answers can be much worse than clearly wrong ones, as they introduce bugs that are hard to spot, especially for younger or less experienced coders. That looks right to me. It still doesn't work, because actually that never works in any situation. As a result, many developers are finding themselves spending more time debugging than they did before. It's not unusual for developers to turn to Stack Overflow after AI code fails them. In fact, more than a third said their visit to the site because of a problem caused by AI-generated code. Shouldn't this work, Stack Overflow? Yeah, that would work if you're doing this. Oh shit, well, the AI code didn't know I wasn't doing that, so it doesn't work. Some are even pushing back against casual AI coding. Around 72% of the developers reject the idea of vibe coding, which we just learned about that last week. Right, we were talking about this game somebody vibe coded, and I was like, don't play their vibe coded game. I do not support vibe coding. Which is blindly pasting AI suggested code into a production. Please code me a video game that does this. Wow, it mostly works. That close but not quite problem is here to stay, the report notes. It's tied to how predictive text generation works, where tools guess what code should come next, but don't always understand the logic behind it. Yeah, the classic, no, I do not want to spell the word like that. I'm trying to say this word, which is a real word. No, the autocorrect knows which word I'm trying to say. It knows exactly which word I want. No, that's not the word I want to say. That's not it. Not even close. And then you have to go back, manually click with your hand into the word, and then spell it correctly. And then, yeah, autocorrect AI is really annoying, but for coding, basically.
Yeah, AI pisses me off with spell check every single time I use it. I just can't get anything right that I intended to spell. And even correct shit I don't even need corrected. Like, where'd that word come from?
Yeah, exactly. It's predicting what you're trying to say, but you're not saying that at all.
Awful.
Yeah. And it's even worse if you're like bilingual, right? Because sometimes I'm using Dutch words and then it just doesn't accept it. It's like, why are you saying that word? It's Dutch, okay? It's a Dutch word. I am allowed to spell Dutch words. Anyways.
I do like Facebook, the way it places words that I normally use after that word, so I don't have to think of the new words, right? However, it may just be directing me down abuse, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look.
You should say
there's
this.
A word that fits it. It's abusive. Yeah. All in this. Anyway. Sorry.
Right. But even with all these flaws, most developers aren't giving up on AI tools. Many say the clear benefits when tools are used mindfully. Some companies even encourage their teams to use AI assistants. Experts are now suggesting that developers should change how they think about these tools. Developers should treat AI like a sparring partner, not a silent co-pilot. Is there any help challenge your thinking, not to replace it entirely? Yes, please do not replace your thinking with AI. They can't think. They're just programmed, okay? They're just programmed to see patterns and they follow those patterns. They're not thinking. When used this way, AI can help learn faster. It gives targeted help, explains unfamiliar concepts, and complements traditional resources like documentation or Stack Overflow itself. But as AI changes how developers seek support, even platforms like Stack Overflow are adjusting. Although we have seen a decline in traffic, in no way is it as dramatic as some would indicate, said Jody Bailey, Stack Overflow's Chief Product and Technology Officer. That shift is causing Stack Overflow to critically reassess how it gauges success in modern digital age, they added. AI isn't going anywhere, and in software development, but blind trust isn't the answer either, and never has been. Please do not blindly trust your AI. The smartest developers aren't those who skip the hard work, but those who know when to ask AI for help and when to double-check everything it says. Yes, I asked the AI to help me with my subtitles, but I'm not asking it to do all the subtitles for my entire stream. That is insanity.
Yeah.
Also, good morning, Omlin. Welcome to another early episode of Before Coffee, and thank you for checking in and being the first one here. Does that remind you of a song?
Happy morning! Happy Monday morning. Reminds me of a song, The Land of Confusion by Genesis. Because I am never going to rely on AI for anything, but I know people are going to just be lazy and just use the wrong information. And programmers are going to continue to program wrong information. Yay! And AI isn't going to learn from that. It's just going to think it's right. So how's it going to correct itself? It can't. It can't correct itself. It thinks it's right. No matter how many times you tell it, it's going to tell you it's not wrong. Anyway, Land of Confusion is a song. Next story.
Okay. My next story is about the UK. This is a shorter one. The UK has taken too long to act over a plan for evacuating Gaza's children. I think, it's been 2 years almost, right? October of 23 is when the original attack happened. And now it's almost October 25. And children have been getting bombed in hospitals and schools this whole time. This is by Abby Garton Crosby on the National Scotland. John Swiney has accused the UK government of taking too long to act after it was confirmed that hundreds of children in Gaza could be evacuated for medical treatment. On Sunday, which was the 3rd of August, it was revealed that up to 300 children could be brought to the UK for NHS treatment. The First Minister welcomed the reported plans, having written to the Prime Minister Keir Starmer on July 9th, urging such action to be taken. Swiney said he regretted that the action did not come sooner. Reminder that he's just the leader of Scotland, and by leader I mean the local Scottish law and stuff, right? He's not the Prime Minister of an entire country, which is what Keir Starmer is. He doesn't represent the entirety of the UK, only represents Scotland.
He's the Grand Poobah.
Exactly.
Grand Poobah. He might as well be the head of the mud puddle department as far as power goes, right?
We have been consistently clear that suffering has been inflicted on the people of Gaza is beyond any justification. People in Gaza are being bombed and left to starve by Israel on a massive scale, he said. I wrote to the Prime Minister on the 9th July to request support from the UK government in meeting the call from UNICEF to provide medical care for children from Gaza. If the UK government is prepared to evacuate Palestinians for medical treatment, it would be entirely welcome. My only regret is the UK government has taken this long to act. I urge the UK government to do everything in its power to move swiftly so that lives can be saved and Scotland will play our part. The evacuation plans are reportedly set to be announced within weeks. A parent or guardian will accompany each child, as well as siblings if necessary, and the Home Office will carry out biometric and security checks before travel, the Sunday Times reported, because they don't want any of these Gaza children to get lost and then become British citizens and have a better life. Oh no! As soon as you're better, we're sending you back to the hell pit. This will happen in parallel with an initiative by Project Pure Hope, a group set up to bring sick and injured Gazan children to the UK privately for treatment. More than 50,000 children are estimated to have been killed or injured in Gaza since the 23 of October, according to UNICEF. Starmer last week said that the UK was urgently accelerating efforts to bring children over for treatment. A UK government spokesperson said, taking forward plans to evacuate more children from Gaza who require urgent medical care, including bringing them to the UK for specialist treatment where this is the best option for their care. We are working at pace to do so as quickly as possible, with further details to be set out in due course. In before Israel bombs one of the planes that take the children. Oh, we thought that was an enemy aircraft. It says British Airways on it. Rest in peace, those British pilots. Those Gaza children, though, they deserved it. Those British pilots, though, sorry about that, guys. I know, it's a sick joke, but like I said, right? I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. Would not be surprised. Remind you of a song?
Yeah, it's the end of the world as we know it. Because every time I think about Gaza, that's what I think about. Oh, this is how the world's going to end. We're going to fight over stupid religion forever and ever and ever. Yay!
We're not even fighting over religion anymore. We're fighting over people being allowed to exist in a country. That's it.
Right? And the root cause, of course, is... Man, we got the right one. And I always say, if you can put 100 Palestinians, 100 Israelis in a room naked, and that wouldn't be any difference. So, you're fighting over stupid. You're fighting over eye for an eye, which is strictly eye for an eye. It's all it is now. And I know about eyes, because I only got one of them now. So get on with the stories. I guess we'll do the spin. as Gaza continues to be a wasteland of stupidity. I'm sorry, the Middle East. I should just say the whole Jerusalem
The whole
area.
world.
Yeah, the whole Jerusalem area continues to be a pit of stupidity for the entirety of my lifetime. So, enjoy your
Mixed
stupidity,
metaphor.
I guess. I don't know. Mixed metaphor for the national hurricane. Oh, let's do the. Sorry, that's my first story. This is from Reuters.com. Texas Democrats seek to block redistricting vote by leaving state. Yeah, the Texans have been gerrymandered in the state of Texas. The Republicans have been gerrymandered in the state of Texas enough yet. And if you're not acclimated to what Texas is one of the second most popular state in the United States, and it has the lowest voter participation. Intentionally the lowest voter participation. They make it hard to vote. That ain't enough for them. They're trying to eliminate any Democrat. I think this is directly aimed at our favorite Congressperson, Jasmine Crockett. I guarantee you that's who it's aimed at. She's from Houston. And they're probably just trying to get all the black women out of Congress because Donald Trump told them to.
Yep.
Democratic lawmakers in Texas said on Sunday they were leaving the state to deny Republicans the quorum needed to redraw the state's 38 congressional districts, and move Republicans are seeking to protect their narrow U.S. House majority in next year's midterm elections. Republicans are going to get stomped in the midterms.
I really hope so.
That's why they're doing this. They know they're going to get stomped. They're getting stomped into the friggin'. So that's why they're trying to limit the amount of vote, and they're trying to redistrict their district so they win it no matter who. You know, they just as about gerrymandering, and they're supposed to. You are supposed to go and get the voters to select you. And gerrymandering, you go out and select the voters. You already know how they're going to vote, so you just put them in your district. President Stinky the Clown has championed the redistricting plan because he's a criminal, telling reporters that he expects the effort to yield as many as 5 additional House Republicans. But you can't just redistrict. It's against freaking Constitution. You can't just do it arbitrarily whenever you feel like it. But again, who cares about laws when you're a criminal? Pull the narrow 220 to 212 majority of House of Representatives, Democratic held seats vacant after members' deaths. Why can't Republicans die? What is going on here? In a video shot of an airport, okay, let's not do in a video shot in front of an airport, Democratic Representative James Tallarico said that the redistricting plan amounted to rigging the 2026 election. If you're seeing this video, my Democratic colleagues and I have just left their beloved state to break a quorum and stop Trump's redistricting power grab, Tallarico said in a video posted on X Sunday. Several other Texas Democrats said on social media they were headed to Illinois, whose governor is Democrat billionaire, there's an oddity, J.B. Pritzker. Republican Governor Greg Abbott said in a statement late Sunday that any Democrat House member not return would be moved from the Texas House. Whatever, another power grab. Mm-hmm. And what you're going to do, hold a special election to fill their seats and have more power grabs? Just kick Texas out of the country. Once again, Texas has their own power grid. We don't need their oil. Their oil is not refinable. We don't even need their refineries. We don't need anything for Texas. Texas has nothing the United States actually needs. I've lived in Texas. I have really nothing against the people there, the land there, anything. It's just, screw them. Go be your own country. Go be your own country. Apply for aid for the UN. See what I get to. Because I am sick and tired of sending money to Texas just so they can be fascists. Democrats hatched a deliberate plan to not show up for work. Yeah, imagine that. You're trying to break the law. And they didn't want you to break the law. So this fascist idiot, I don't really care what he has to say. States are required to redistrict every 10 years based on the U.S. Census, but the Texas map was passed just 4 years ago by the Republican-dominated legislature. It wasn't gerrymandered enough. They want to gerrymander it more. Yeah. Well, mid-cycle redistricting occasionally takes place, usually prompted by a change in power at the legislature. Republicans have pursued redistricting, I can't say that word, in a special legislative session that will also address funding for flood prevention in the wake of, we're going to take care of flood prevention after the flood happened. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, well, we had time to do something about the floods. We didn't do anything. Now we're going to have the Democrats don't care about flash flooding because they're not here for this stupid, what is it? Ceremonial vote.
It seems
right?
like a conspiracy theory, but it really does happen this way, right? The Republicans, historically, will take something away, and then, a Democrat is in office, and they say, oh, see, look, the Democrats don't care about you. You guys are the ones who took the thing away. You're the ones who took it away to begin with, but you're blaming the guy who was trying to put it back, and then a tragedy happened.
The great political comedian said it best, Mark Russell said it best. He said, Republicans will tell you that government doesn't work, and as if to prove it, they get elected and make it not work.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Oh, so you do. Government doesn't work. They can come and help you. Yeah, because you're in control of it, and you're incompetent, and you don't give a fuck. You just give them money to rich people and turn your back. Under current lines, Republicans control 25 seats and nearly 2/3 of the district. Okay, they control nearly 2/3 of the districts in the state that went for Trump, 56-42. All right, they basically should be controlling only 56%, but they already control 66%. So they're already overrepresented, and they're not satisfied with being overrepresented by like 10 seats, right? They need more. It's a power grab. Okay. Redistricting experts have said the plan could backfire. Republicans tried to squeeze too many seats out of what was already considered a significantly skewed map. I would love it if they redistricted to think they were going to win all these seats and they lost all of them by like 1 point. Wouldn't that be freaking awesome? Like 1 percentage point and they just get all of their congressional map wiped out. Texas needs to wake the fuck up. There's your story. Now just shorter than normal story, but I don't have a second one, so let's have the segue.
Sadly, you can't teach an old dog new math. This has been before I've been born, right? Before I've been born, this has been the strategy of Republicans.
That is an awesome metaphor.
Telling a party who famously doesn't know how to run a government to run a government is impossible. They purposely do not know how to run government. On purpose.
Exactly. They do it on purpose because they don't want their rich people's tax dollars going to help you. They want that in their pocket so they can make you do what they want you to do. Right? The three ways to persuade people. 3 ways to persuade people I always go after. You can pay them. Is the easiest, laziest, but it costs probably the most. You can force them, which is the hardest. And just as much as paying them even, or you can just trick them, and that's what the Republicans have done. They've tricked Texas into thinking that they're helping themselves by screwing themselves.
Yep. I'm just happy all my friends who live in Texas have moved away from Texas, so I don't have to worry about them anyways.
I hope
the
this
segue is now
non
non-sequitur. So, let's go to my next story, which is a longer one.
Non-sequitur. Easy one. Just one.
We're going to talk about Switzerland and that U.S. trade deal that they... So the EU and the U.S. made a trade deal. It was pretty bad, according to everybody in the EU anyways. They got ripped off. But Switzerland, who is not part of the EU, is saying they could revise some Trump tariffs.
They're not?
No, they aren't. They're part of the Schengen zone. Hello, Ivanka! Okay. Thank you for being second to the stream, and congratulations on your rank up. Yeah, Switzerland is part of the Schengen zone, which is that area in Europe where you can travel freely without border checks, but they are not part of the EU, famously not part of the EU. That's why they had different money when we were there. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, I see.
The Swiss government is open to revising its offer. Oh, sorry, this is on Reuters by John Revel. Coming out of Zurich, the Swiss government is open to revising its offer to the United States in response to planned heavy tariffs, Business Minister Guy Parmelin said, as experts warned that 39% import duties announced by convicted felon Trump could trigger a recession in Switzerland. Switzerland was left stunned last Friday on the 1st of August after Trump hit the country one of its highest tariffs in its global trade reset, with industry associations warning of tens of thousands of jobs being put on risk. So, meanwhile, while the EU got a 50% tariff, Switzerland's been hit with almost double, triple, almost 40%. Pays to be in an economic union, I suppose. The country's cabinet will hold a special meeting on today, the 4th of August, to discuss its next steps, with Parmelin telling broadcasters RTS that the government would move quickly before the US tariffs are imposed on the 7th of August. We need to fully understand what's happened, why the US president made this decision. Once we have that on the table, we can decide how to proceed, Parmelin said. The timeline is tight. It may be hard to achieve something by the 7th, but we'll do everything we can to show goodwill and revise our offer, he added. Parmelin said Trump was focused on the U.S. trade deficit with Switzerland, which stood at a 38.5 billion Swiss francs, or $48 billion last year. Of course, with Switzerland buying U.S. liquefied natural gas, LNG, among options under consideration. Like, why are we giving you such a good trade deal? We don't even trade enough with each other. Here you go. Here's your 40% tariff, import tariff, and fuck off, I guess is what the US was saying. We don't even trade with you. I guess it's not true, though.
Oh, my.
Another option could be further investment by Swiss companies in the United States, Switzerland's biggest export market for pharmaceuticals, watches, and machinery. So they export,
okay.
Switzerland exports pharmaceuticals, watches, and machinery to the US, but they don't really buy anything else. Right? They don't buy anything from the US. So it's we buy stuff from you, you give us nothing.
Cheese.
Look at the European Union.
No chocolate?
They promised to buy LNG. Switzerland imports LNG too. Maybe that's one path, Parmelin said. Maybe more investment, but to be sure, it's a strong enough basis for continuing talks. We have to fully understand what the US expects. Both Parmelin and Swiss President Karin Keller-Sutter were also ready to travel to Washington to pursue talks if necessary, he added. Swiss officials rejected reports that the higher-than-expected tariffs were imposed after a bad-tempered telephone call between Keller-Sutter and convicted felon Trump late on Thursday. Well, I mean, if Karin Keller-Sutter is a woman, I assume it's already bad-tempered. Where's the man to talk to me? Yep, she's a woman. Where's the man that runs your country? Actually, I run the country. I'm a woman. That doesn't make any sense. Get me a man on the phone as soon as possible, or I'm going to put 40% tariffs on you. This happened on Thursday,
right,
on the 31st of July. The call was not a success. There was not a good outcome for Switzerland, a government told Reuters, but there was not a quarrel. Trump made it clear from the very beginning that he had a completely different point of view, probably not living in reality, that 10% tariffs were not enough. We were working hard to find a solution on contact with the American side, the sources added. We hope we can find a solution before August 7th. Tariffs would have a huge impact on Switzerland's export-oriented economy and raise the risk of recession, said Hans Gersbach, an economist at ETH and University in Zurich. Swiss economic output will be reduced to 0.3% to 2.6% if the 39% tariff was imposed, a figure which could rise to above 0.7% if pharmaceuticals, which are currently not covered by the import duties, were included. Prolonged disruptions could shrink Swiss GDP by more than 1%, Gersbach said. There would be a risk of a recession. Swiss shares are expected to be hit by tariffs news when the stock market reopens today, after being closed during the Swiss National Day holiday on Friday. The tariffs could see the Swiss National Bank cut interest rates in September, said Nora. We expect one more 25 BP policy rate cut from SNB in September, which would take the rate to negative 2.5%, the bank said. A hit growth from the U.S. tariffs on exports would likely weaken economic growth, cause further deflation pressures, adding to the likelihood of easing to a negative policy rate. Basically, they're fucked. If anybody's ever been to Switzerland, it's very expensive there. Everything is very expensive there. I'm not sure why. I'm not an economist, so I don't understand why Switzerland has such high prices compared to surrounding countries around it. Probably due to the fact that it is in an island, separated from all other economic EU deals, so it has its own exclusive deals with every single country in the world as an independent country, and those deals are good or bad. And in this case, a bad deal can cause the cost of everything to go up. And I know a 3% increase doesn't seem like a lot, but depending on how much money it is, it's huge. It's a huge amount, right? So
Yeah.
there's your economic news for Switzerland, in case you wanted to know. Okay. What is your non sequitur?
My non sequitur is I never actually bought anything for Switzerland. You said, well, they export a lot of. Sorry, I got my mind muddled here.
Watches and pharmaceuticals and machinery.
I know about watches. That's a line I was going. I know
one.
about Swiss watches. I know about Swiss chocolate, and I know about the Swiss Army knife because I got one. So that's my non sequitur. I have one thing for Switzerland: the Swiss Army knife, and I'm not even sure that's made in Switzerland, right?
Probably not, right? I don't know what pharmaceuticals they export, but it's.
That's the old joke. They don't. The Swiss Army never invades anybody because all they got is those little knives, right? We're gonna corkscrew you. Hey, we're gonna corkscrew you. Anyway. All right, next story. National Hurricane Center. We'll spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel.
National Hurricane Center.
Another non sequitur.
I'm looking at this map, and these things are right off the coast of, just south of us. Cape Hatteras is on getting nailed again, it looks like. All right, so, Cape Hatteras. You live in Cape Hatteras? Good luck, man. You're on a sandbar. The National Hurricane Center is watching these areas. Let's see. Let's talk about these areas. There's a lot of them here. Let's read the whole thing. Monday, a 30% chance of showers, mainly after 2 p.m. It doesn't say what areas, though. National Hurricane Center is watching 3 areas, including one that could affect Carolina beaches later this week. Here's a breakdown of all 3. Tropical storm Dexter formed late Sunday night, northwest of Bermuda, and it's heading away from the United States. It's now in open waters of the Atlantic. Expected to affect the United States, but they still named it. Models show the new area of low pressure forming along an old front a few hundred miles southeast of the Carolina coast later this week. They have to watch closely as some models have it impacting the coastline late week into the weekend. A tropical wave will move off the coast of Africa on Monday, is expected to gradually develop, and the National Hurricane Center gives it a 50% chance of development over the next 7 days. Right now, models keep this area of interest out in the open waters. The National Hurricane Center is watching 3 areas. Well, you already did that. Part of the story does a map. A new area of low pressure forming along the old front a few hundred miles southeast of the Carolina coast later this week. We'll have to watch this closely as some models have it impacting the coast late into the weekend. So we haven't named that one either. A tropical wave will move off the coast of Africa on Monday, is expected to gradually develop, and the National Hurricane Center gives it a 50% chance of development over the next 7 days. Right now, models keep this area of interest out in the open waters. So it also got 3, not the longer story they promised me. That was about a 2-minute story, and then these people are like, well, it's a 5-minute story. And I'm like, that's not a 5-minute story. I'm already done with it. So there's your news. Hopefully it didn't crowd out too much time, huh?
That's it. That's all you got.
That's it, man. That's it. I got short stories today because I got to run. So.
Okay, well, keep your eyes out on the coast, I guess, for everyone in North Carolina or the Carolinas. I did look up what pharmaceuticals Switzerland sells, and if you recognize any of these, they're all Swiss pharmaceuticals. So Novartis, Roche, Astelion, Alcon, Amgen. Those are the different companies that create drugs and sell drugs probably to the US. So there you go. In case you want to, I don't know, boycott Swiss pharmaceuticals. There's my non sequitur.
Why would we?
Nothing to do with what you're talking about.
Right on.
Our next segue is
Switzerland also in no danger of hurricanes.
That would be crazy. Alliteration headline. I don't know what I would do. I've never seen a hurricane on this side of the ocean. And in case anyone's ever wondered, why don't hurricanes happen on the east coast of the Atlantic?
It's not warm
because
enough.
The wind doesn't go that way. That's why.
Yep. You're not going to get two gigantic heat masses meeting in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Up in the North Sea.
No, the North Sea is basically the sea's trash can. That's why it's very dangerous. It has very shallow water, and it's just the drain. It's a drain. So imagine you're sailing through a drain, and it just wants to drag you down into the ocean below. That's why it's so dangerous in the North Sea. But it has nothing to do with it's because of the wind, actually. It's so shallow that instead of absorbing all the kinetic energy from wind, the wind just goes over it, like a sandstorm. And that's why the waves are so high and dangerous, because it's like if you get like a windblower on a puddle, that water goes everywhere.
That's why
compared to if you do it on a pool, right? The pool's not as affected as a puddle. So.
And windmills everywhere.
There's your free allegory there. You have to give me an alliteration headline for my culture news, which is about the next Master Chef season in the UK. People are calling for it to be completely taken off air and maybe even shelved completely. Just get rid of the show. Just kidding. Becdu and the Fawcett Society are airing the show will distress those who complained about Greg Wallace and John Turrode. Uh-oh. Men in media getting in trouble again. This is from Alexandra Topping on The Guardian. The BBC is facing mounting pressure to scrap this year's series of MasterChef after the sacking of the presenters Greg Wallace and John Turrode. So they're already fired, but they already filmed their season. So they're like, we're going to get our money off of all that stuff we spent. Okay, well, nobody wants to see them. The heads of the broadcast union, Becdu, and the leading women's rights organization have joined those calling for the series to be shelved, arguing it would cause distress of the people who made complaints about the two men. Last week, the BBC said it would broadcast a series of MasterChef featuring Wallace and Turrode, which was filmed before the presenters were dropped after allegations about their behavior were upheld. As in, they were alleged to have done something, and then they're like, oh no, they definitely did that. Okay, well, sorry guys, your job is over. Yep. The corporation said it was not an easy decision, but arguing it was the right thing to do for the amateur chefs who had taken part, adding that the show's producers have spoken to contestants about airing the program. It's because they don't want to lose money. Let's not act like it's some sort of moral high ground. We don't want to lose the money we spent making the program, so we are going to be putting it on the TV. Thank you. But on the 1st of August, on Friday, the head of Becdu, Philippa Child, said the BBC should reconsider its decision. Whilst the BBC claims that it has consulted with contestants, there appears to have been no consultation with complainants. Freelancers who have taken the very difficult step of speaking out and who will legitimately feel distressed, she told BBC News. If the BBC are serious about addressing this industry-wide problem, broadcasters should not reward bad behavior with prime-time coverage. Penny East, the chief executive of the Fawcett Society, suggested it would be better to edit the presenters out entirely. Seeing Greg Wallace on our screens will be deeply uncomfortable for many people, not least the brave women who had spoken about his appalling behavior, he said. It can't be right that men who sexually harass women continue to be given a platform and allow them to maintain their profile and power. Wallace was dropped by the BBC after an independent report, so that means a third party, substantiated 45 allegations made against him, including claims of inappropriate sexual language, I guess telling one too many dirty jokes, one incident of unwelcome physical contact, touching somebody where they don't want to be touched. He's apologized for any distress caused and said the report cleared him of the most serious and sensational accusations. Yeah, that's right. At least he didn't sexually assault anybody. Wow, the bar is low. The bar is so fucking low. Turrode was dropped as a presenter after he was said he was a subject of substantiated complaint over the use of racist language. Okay, so he was just being racist. against Indians, probably, or Pakistanis. That's the most popular one in the UK. Which he believes never happened. I never said that joke. It was a joke. People can make jokes anymore. Well, you were making the joke at an Indian who didn't appreciate it, so sorry. You're punching down there, buddy. On Thursday, the 31st of July, The Guardian revealed that one of the contestants from the latest series of MasterChef had to be edited out of the program after telling his producer she did not want the show to be broadcast. Sarah Shafi from Leeds said she told the show's producers that airing it would send the wrong message about the treatment of women. She said she initially rejected an offer by MasterChef's producer, Vanny Jay, to edit her out of the episode. The 57-year-old agreed to be removed once the BBC announced it had decided to broadcast the series from the 6th. Why is she getting punished? It's fucked up. They should edit the guys out and leave her in. I didn't say edit me out, she said. I said axe the show, don't air the show. I'm asking you not to air the show. Prominent figures have been abusing their power. What message does that send out to women? We're just going to remove you instead. You're idiots, the BBC, but as Roger has said many times, they've been idiots since the 60s. Even before the 60s. One former MasterChef worker who said she had been groped by Wallace told BBC News, "Oh, imagine just being on the production and having to deal with this guy. God. Ugh." The decision to broadcast the series showed a blatant disregard for people who have come forward. Another person who worked on the show and who said Wallace pulled his trousers down in front of her. Why does this happen? Why? Grown men, 50-year-old, 40-year-old men being like, this is normal behavior. It's not normal. You know it's not normal. Does this look like a brothel? Does this look like a brothel? God. Common sense just completely gone from their brains. The decision to show the series was profoundly disrespectful to people who had made complaints. It ultimately sends a message that such behavior can be overlooked, she said. Yeah, just, the only time you should pull your pants down is if you're at the doctor and the doctor asks you to, okay? I don't understand why anyone does that, ever, at all. I think they think it's funny. Maybe it comes from those schoolboy things where you moon people, so it just comes from that. Haha, it's so funny, I mooned someone. It's like, I'm working right now.
I know.
I'm trying to set up your lighting so that you look good on camera. I'm not here to see your penis. Go away. Ugh. Yes.
Weirdos.
I rant too much about such things. Humanity disappoints me yet again.
People are morons, as usual. Okay.
Alliteration, please.
I guess I got a headline. Alliteration! Let's do this one. Let's say. Goes like this. Creepy cooks create controversy concerning constant coercion.
It sounds about right. Wow, she didn't like that I'd pull my pants out in front of her. I'm gonna vote her out next round. Wow, really great.
I feel like I need
competition you got.
Applause or laughter.
Oh yeah, I can do one for you. Sorry.
All right, maybe
it's Monday. I'm slow today.
All right, let's do this day in history. I did send you a video with an example of AI being weird, kinda.
I'll just stare at it.
Kind of an example of a simple explanatory video, and the caption is like, "Really? That is exactly what happened." But AI
I need to tell you a joke about this day in history.
Okay, this day in history in 1578, the Portuguese armies of King Sebastian, who was allied with the deposed Moroccan Sultan Al Mutawakil, invaded Morocco, but were defeated by the Sandi Sultan Abdul al-Malik at the Battle of the Three Kings. The Three Kings? Holy crap, you can't play chess with three kings. That's impossible. 1790, the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, Alexander Hamilton, established the Revenue Marine Service, which became the U.S. Coast Guard. Alexander Hamilton doing it again. Just loading this up with interesting things. I don't know what to say. 1879, Pope Leo the 13th, I know my Roman numerals, Leo the XIII, issued the encyclical Attorney Patris, making Thomism the dominant philosophical viewpoint in Roman Catholicism. Yippee. New
Whatever
way
that
to worship
means.
the
Oh
invisible
God,
man.
getting a.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you know that one piece of that scripture that you read is missing an apostrophe. So we're gonna form a whole new religion based on the missing apostrophe. That's basically what I divide. You know, that's what I deduce from that. It's just like, rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. It's meaningless. 1892, Lizzie Borden's father and stepmother were murdered in Fall River, Massachusetts, but she was later tried for the crime but acquitted. And the famous saying, of course, Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 axe. So she was done. She gave her father 41. And you can't chop your in Massachusetts. Right? That's the song. You gotta hear it, man. It's hilarious because you can make fun of it now. They're both all gone for years and years and years. 1901, Louis Armstrong was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, a prolifically gifted natural musician in the leading Trump-turned-jazz history. So happy birthday to Louis Armstrong. Be 1914. I'm really sure Louis Armstrong died July 4th. I seem to remember something in that effect. 1914, in response to the German invasion of Belgium, Great Britain entered World War I, declared Germany. There you go! We were there in the trench for 4 years, you son of a bitch. All right. I heard the secret annex of Amsterdam, where Anne Frank and 7 others were hiding, discovered by the Gestapo.
Not a great thing to celebrate. Boo!
Nope. All were sent to concentration camp, with only Anne Frank's father, Otto, surviving. 1962, American baseball pitcher Roger Clemens, who is one of the most successful pitchers in baseball history, was born in Dayton, Ohio. He was the first to win the Cy Young Award 7 times. Strangely, while he's turning 63 today, strangely, still not in the Hall of Fame. Why is Roger Clemens, a guy who won 7 Cy Young Awards and played for the Yankees and the Red Sox and all these great franchises, why is he not in the Hall of Fame? Because he took steroids. That's why. Oh my God. Come on, he's trying to get a competitive advantage like every other player. Anyway, next story. 2007, the U.S. space probe Phoenix was launched, and a year later landed on Mars. Among its most important discoveries was the existence of water ice beneath the planet's surface. And it was just in time because they had just mixed the martini. And space martinis are just excellent drinks. Of course, you got to drink them through a straw. They just float up in space. There's nobody on Mars, by the way. There's no humans there. It's just a joke. Gibraltar! On this day in 1704, Gibraltar, which is a big rock between Europe and Africa, was captured by Britain on this day in 1704. During the War of Spanish Succession, Britain took control of Gibraltar on this day in 1704. Spain surrendered it. The rock subsequently became a British colony and a symbol of British naval strength. Yes, we must defend this rock with all of our lives. Our other featured biography, Happy Birthday to Barack Obama. Obama, born August 4th, 1961, turning 64 today, although, again, our Britannica doesn't know what year it is. This is 2024, but it actually is 2025. So Britannica, he's 64 today, not 63. Happy birthday, Obama! In 1900, is the birthday of Elizabeth, Queen Consort of the United Kingdom. That's right. Queen Elizabeth's mom, not the actual queen, was born in 1900. She would be 125 today. 1901, Louis Armstrong, we covered that. Kishore Kumar, not Harold and Kumar, but Kishore Kumar, Indian actor, singer, composer, and director, born in 1929. Not the Kumar from Harold and Kumar. That guy would be way too young for that. 1955, Billy Bob Thornton's birthday. American actor, director, sling blade actor. I got there. Yeah, I guess I'll have some of them French fried potatoes. That guy. Billy Bob Thornton. I reckon I got, maybe it's a sling blade. Some folks calls it a Kaiser blade. I calls it a sling blade. American actor, director, and writer is turning 70 years old today. 70. And of course, Barack Obama, we covered that one. And what day is it today? Not a whole lot today. It's only National Coast Guard Day, as we talk about that. Alexander Hamilton founding the Coast Guard. And it's National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. Those are your days, everything.
Delicious.
Your mispronunciation, your rush stories, your truncated stories, your abbreviated stories, your spins of the wheel, your mispronunciations. No technical glitches, at least so far. For August 4th, 2025, on Before Chocolate Chip Cookie.
Yeah. Okay, I've got your
And pocket
jokes.
pancake.
I made 3 jokes.
Okay.
Here they are.
Ooh, we get sound already. I got some
Dwayne
time
Johnson
here now.
wants to move to a peninsula south of Spain. He wants to become the Rock of Gibraltar. That's an easy one. That's an easy one. Now, this is a bad one. I'm going to get taken off of MasterChef. Why did Barack Obama get 2 terms? Because black people always
No
get a
idea.
longer sentence. Prison joke! Racism! And finally, why don't Coast Guard members
You told
play
that
cards? Because the captain is always standing on the deck. Damn him, we can't play cards, he's standing on the deck! For International Days, it is still World Breastfeeding Week until Thursday, so make sure that you give all the people out there breastfeeding the respect they deserve. They're the ones who are making sure human beings can grow up to be adults by giving them those early nutritions. Don't be shamed by breastfeeding, and don't shame people for breastfeeding. How the hell did you think you got here? I was bottle fed, actually. Well, fuck you. I don't know. What to say?
How do you know you're a bottle fed?
No, I'm not me. I'm just saying people will be like, actually, I can disrespect them because I was bottle fed. Like,
Right, I know
whatever,
not
dude.
you. I'm just saying that people
I
think they
download
were
this.
bottle fed. How would you know? I was told I was. Okay, whatever.
And now for
It's more of an
our,
example of
I guess,
dropping the mic.
what is this, baseball?
AI. Yeah, it's AI basically talking over a perfectly fine interview that was nothing wrong with it. But AI has to tell
Okay,
you about it
so
instead of
an
just
example of
letting
an
it play.
AI is not
Yeah.
good and
It kinda
ruins
like-
everything. Mic drop moment.
Right, it's like,
They're wonderful. You want some?
all right, there you go. Did you start?
Have you ever heard of a pocket pancake? Well, now
Pocket
you have.
pancakes. Mm.
During Friday's 16-9 win for the
This
Brewers over the
freaking AI
Nationals,
voice,
not
which is, as
terrible.
soon as you hear
Milwaukee
this, by the way,
skipper showed
guys,
viewers what his
make sure that
in-game
you hide the
snack is
channel,
and where he keeps it during the
downvote
game.
it, say do not show me
When
this
talking
again.
to Apple TV Plus field reporter Trisha Whitaker midway through the 3rd inning,
Thanks.
Murphy
Why
was
didn't they
asked
just show the
about
whole
his
clip,
snack eating
you know?
habit during games.
Exactly.
Rumor
Just
has
showing
it
the
that
clip would
during
have
the
been
game,
humor.
This is
he'd
so
like to partake
That's
unnecessary.
all I
in some
wanted.
snacks.
Instead I got this.
Whitaker said
Yeah.
to Murphy,
This
"I'm
is
like anyone
humor.
else in the world. I don't need to be singled out," Murphy replied before
I have
pulling
heard
a
of a pocket
pancake from his
pancake, though.
back pocket. Murphy then offered Whitaker a piece of
But
the
not in a
pancake.
serious way.
She
I love
accepted
it.
and
Make it
ate it on live television.
She
Pizza.
ate his
bagels.
pocket
What
pancake.
else
Is
do
that
you
like
keep
an
in your
innuendo for
pocket?
something?
Whitaker followed
Took a
after
tiny
indulging
little
in the
bit of
pocket
it. Just took a
pancake.
Piece of it off the
Whatever
top, right?
fits.
Anything like that,
Murphy
right?
responded. Murphy seemed to be in a relaxed mood, likely from his Brewers taking a 6-1 lead shortly before his interview.
It's like you just
Shortly
totally ruined
before
this video,
Friday's
right?
game, however, the Brewers placed outfielder Jackson Chourio on the 10-day
Friday
injured
S
list
game?
This is
due
the
to a
same
Friday
sprained
S game.
images over and over again.
Murphy revealed to reporters that
Not
Chourio's
Friday's
injury was
game, but
worse
Friday
than what
S
management
game.
initially believed. It won TV
And he keeps on
Chourio.
showing
very
this
soon.
picture
Pronounce
too.
Murphy told reporters before
Pronounces his
Friday's
name
game
wrong. Churio is
he
his
was
name, not
diagnosed a
Chowio.
little more
I don't know where
severely than we
Chowio
initially
comes from.
thought. To what extent?
Sometimes you have
I'm
to
not
spell things
exactly
wrong
sure.
for AI to say it properly.
Nor are they. We're just going to have to rehab it.
Yeah.
Murphy added that
The pocket
Chowrio,
pancake was the
21,
highlight of the interview.
is
I
expected
think
to receive
listening
a
to this is making me
platelet-rich
lose
plasma
lose
injection.
brain cells.
Through 106 games this season, Chowrio has
A plate
posted a
reaction
slash
plasma
line of
injection, wow.
I'm serious. If I'm scrolling through shorts or watching videos and I hear this voice, I instantly
67 RBIs, and 16
block the
stolen
channel.
bases. The
I do
injury
not like
initially
it.
occurred during a game against the
And I can
Gaza
understand
Gaza
why,
after
you know,
Chowrio
people are
apparently
getting
tweaked his
stupider
hamstring while legging
from
out a
having to
triple.
watch this.
Chowrio downplayed the injury at first,
Chowo
saying
is his
that it
name
felt
now.
more
His name
like
is
a crab.
Chowo.
When I
Chow
saw the ball
wing.
hit off the wall there, I think it happened when I
spelled
accelerated a
Chowo
touch
to
there to
the
get the
AI.
extra
That's
base.
pronounced Chowo.
Chowrio told reporters Tuesday.
Churio.
It was
It's a
more
very
like a
simple
little
word.
tickle at first,
Chowo.
but the more I kept
Chario.
going,
It says it different every
kept on
time.
going. Then I was just hoping to get to third
Anyway,
base.
you can cut
Once
it
I
off
got
anytime
there,
you want. It was
it
just an
just felt
example of
more like
AI
a crab.
ruining a video.
The
You
young
just
star
watch the
Yeah,
video.
it's,
But
no, we have to watch the whole
we're
thing.
No, no.
We have to continue
It's
I
dying.
sincerely hope
copyrighted.
it's nothing more serious than it is, and I'll be with the
I've
team
just
as
died
soon as
on the
I can,
inside.
he added.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.